I put up a story last night on my Instagram and it was like, hey, you know what? Ask me anything about high ticket sales and I'll answer y'all's questions on a YouTube video. And so here it is. I can't lie, some of y'all are really freaking switched on. Some of the questions were so good and some of the questions were fucking shit. But that's fine. I picked the best ones that are going to help all the newbies or all the people looking to get into high ticket sales, and we are going to bang out 10 Q&A questions in 10 minutes. Let's go. Grab your caffeine, a notepad, and a pen because I'm about to tell you straight value, okay? Question number 1 is, what the F is high ticket sales and how someone brand new gets paid, question mark. Really good question. So pretty much what high ticket sales is, you are selling something high ticketed, okay? Something ranging from like $2,000 to $10,000 to $30,000. If you stood on the streets trying to sell something that's $30,000, nobody is buying from you. But there are a few chosen people around the globe who need a huge problem fixed. For example, someone who is struggling with obesity, needing to lose that weight ASAP. They can't go to any odd, fitness coach. They need to go to someone who was once obese, knows their struggles, and can actually help them transform and has transformed someone else before too. They would probably pay $10,000, $20,000, maybe even $30,000 to get that life-changing transformation. So you are selling online. This is remote work, okay? You are selling online to a very small niche of people depending on what you're selling for. There's fitness offer, trading offers, multiple different niches of coaching offers. You could do marketing for businesses. You could provide a service to businesses. You could be in the health field. You can be in any kind of sub niche like that you want to be in this industry overall. You just need to be incredibly good at connecting with people on an emotional level. You don't need to be good at I don't need to be good in trading to sell a trading offer. I just need to be good at connecting with someone emotionally to understand, hey, why do you want to do trading? Okay, cool. This person I work for sells, coaching in trading. Let me get you on, kind of thing. That's all you need to be really good at. The way you get paid is by closing these deals. So you would take probably 5 to 6 closing calls a day. And if you are a setter, you would be taking maybe, I would say, actually a lot more. You'd be dialing at least 150 plus 200, sometimes even 400 people a day if you are one of those killer, people that are absolutely in the grind. And you would be setting in 5 to 6 calls a day, usually depending on what your, key performance indicators are by your managers. And you would get paid on every set that closes. And if you are a closer, you get paid for every close that you get. So for example, if it's a $7,000 program, you close it, you get, 15% on that 7,000, you are making $1,000 every single sale. Okay, question number 2. No formal sales experience or degree in business. Is that going to be an issue if I want to start? No. Okay, I started as a completely cold caller in a real estate firm when I found out about high ticket sales. And I was like, damn, okay, that's surely better than, cold dialing leads in this office right here, getting paid bare minimum wage and not even any commission. And so I went into high ticket sales with no sales experience, honestly, and I absolutely crushed it. By my 3rd month, I made like 9K. I was doing incredibly well, okay? It is really possible to do great, and you don't need a degree or any sort of formal qualification. Okay, question number 3. If I fully commit to this, how long would it realistically take before I could make my first 3 to 5K? Good question, but look, it is different for every single person that comes in, right? I have seen people come in and absolutely dominate within 2-3 weeks. And then there are people who take 2-3 months, even sometimes 2-3 years. But it really depends on what skills you already have and what skills you need to develop. Let's say you already have the skill of speaking English very fluently. You're good at asking questions, you're good at actively listening, and you can engage in a conversation well with any type of person. You are going to crush it in sales within probably 2 to 3 weeks. However, if you are someone who has a thick accent, if English is not your first language or even not a language that you are fluent in, right? If you struggle to come up with questions to ask people, if you struggle to hold conversations, if you just hate speaking to people, sales is probably going to take you 2 to 3 years to get good at, because you actually need to develop the soft skills before you actually develop the skill of sales, okay? But if you are already good at soft skills and you can already hold a great conversation, you are the perfect fit already. You just need to learn the skill of actually how to, do a sales call and actually perform and actually, get those sales in and make that money. Question number 4. This is actually a really good question To the girl who asked this, shout out to you because you're crushing it. What's the biggest mistake a beginner makes when starting out in the industry? A range of different things. I've actually, Heike, waited so long for someone to ask me this, okay? The biggest mistake beginners make when they enter the industry is that they think that they are already good at sales and that they can just figure it out by themselves. That is not how it works. You are telling me people go to university for 4 or 5 years, okay, get into like 50K of debt to potentially make $100,000 a year. But you are telling me that there is an industry that you can make 50K in a month, 10, 20, 30K in a month, and you won't invest a couple $1,000s into yourself to go succeed in it? That is stupid, okay? Sales is the deepest form of psychology in action ever. You need to be taught it. You cannot just figure it out. That is not how it works. You need call reviews. You need someone checking over everything that you do, right? What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? You need someone to teach you all the principles and frameworks for how calls work. You need someone to actually teach you how to get into roles, interview for them, right? Land positions. The offer owners, the business owners who are hiring you, they're not stupid, okay? They are not going to hire an absolute beginner who has no idea how to even sit and run in a sales call, right? To go and take their sales calls. Those sales calls are costing them $50, $60 per sales calls to get that person on with you. You need to close that call, otherwise you are putting that business in a loss. To be able to close that call, you need to learn how to actually do it. So that's the biggest mistake that beginners make. They think that they already know how to do it. They think they can figure it out by themselves. And they think that it's a quick, like get rich quick scheme and they can just, figure their way out by themselves. That's not how it works. You need to be actually taught sales by someone who's actually already good at it. Question number 5 is what separates the winners and the losers in sales? It is grit and it is hunger, and that's it, okay? It is just how bad you want it at the end of the day. Okay, question number 6, I think we are at. What was the hardest mental barrier you had to break before you truly scaled in high ticket sales? I think it was honestly my limiting belief around money. I thought that, 5K was a lot of money. I thought 10K was a lot of money. I thought 20K was insane money. And I thought 50K was unachievable. Okay, if you think a certain amount of money is unachievable, you are not going to attain it. You need to think that it is nothing and that you are deserving of that amount of money, even if you don't think that you actually are. Like, gaslight yourself, okay? Because then that will actually flow into your life. When I actually started thinking, okay, you know what? I'm deserving of 10K a month. I'm deserving of 20K a month. I am deserving of fucking 50K a month. And now I am deserving of 100K a month. Even at 18 years old, even without any formal qualification behind me, I am actually making that amount of money. Not 100K a month yet, but that is my goal. I'm actually making that kind of money, right? Because I think I am deserving of it. That is like normal for me. It's not like out of my reality. It is part of my reality now. Gaslight yourself. Whatever it goes on in your mind goes on in your reality. Question number 7, okay? If I'm naturally introverted and not super confident yet, would that stop me from succeeding in sales? No, as long as you know that you will eventually be super confident and you will eventually enjoy speaking to people, right? You'll be completely fine. It's just that mindset of knowing I will eventually be that. You will achieve that. Once I build the skills, how do I actually land my first offer and get hired? Okay. You either get really, really good at networking, okay, or you join an incredibly good coaching community, okay? Those are the only 2 ways to go about it, honestly. I did both, and that's why I grew incredibly fast. I joined a really good coaching community that had a bunch of offers and connections in the space to put me onto positions. And second of all, I got really good at networking and getting my name out there in the industry. Sales, rewards, audacity. Be audacious, be loud, be honest about what you want. Tell people that you want to hit 10K a month. Tell people you want to hit 50K a month. The more loud you are, the more, I guess, offer owners are attracted to hiring you. Question number 9. What mindset keeps you going every single day? Okay, I don't think about what life is going to be like if I achieve everything, okay? I think about what life is going to be like if I don't achieve everything, okay? And that keeps me fueled up and fired up and pushing every single day, because life is going to be fucking miserable, working a bare minimum wage job, begging someone to go take a lunch break, okay, and being in a shitty, small hometown where everyone has a small, stupid mindset and thinks that making money isn't real. That's shit. Life's shit if I don't pull it off, okay? So I am all in. I think I'm a very toxically motivated individual, and a good combination for that is I'm also incredibly optimistic. So they go hand in hand, and that's, I guess, the mindset that keeps me going every single day. Okay, very last question. Can I do this being outside of the US? Hell yes. Yes, you can. I was in Australia. Well, I'm originally from Australia, and yeah, I was working, you know, US offers, and I was doing completely fine, and I was outside of the US, of course. And I would say if you are in other countries, right, that aren't mainly English speaking, you can still do it 100%. The only thing is, if you are not that fluent in English, or, you know, you can't read, write, you know, hold a good conversation and everything with someone who is fluently English speaking, high ticket sales isn't probably your thing, because it requires incredibly good communication. So you have to have incredibly good communication. And I want to be transparent as hell for you guys, so that you don't waste, you know, your time, money, energy, any kind of resource coming into this if it's not for you. People with heavy and thick Indian accents or heavy and thick Middle Eastern accents don't usually do well. Every other accent I've seen do okay in the space, even if, you know, they have an accent, they do completely fine for some reason. But it's just those two accents I've seen struggle the most. Fluently speaking English is something that you struggle in. I would say to go for something else in the online money making kind of space, because there are so many other things as well. High ticket sales is just really good for those people because they, you know, really enjoy communication and speaking to people. That is literally it. I'm hoping that wasn't over 10 minutes. I'm gonna edit it and try to squeeze it in 10 minutes, but if I don't, then enjoy the extra free value, I guess, guys. But anyways, I wish you guys the best of luck. Keep crushing it. If you have any questions whatsoever about high ticket sales, get in my DMs on Instagram. Okay, I'm here to help while I can still access and answer everyone I can. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck. I love y'all, and I will see you all at the top.